Can you hear me out there? Okay. All right, good afternoon. It's now 4:30. We will start the special meeting of the Hemet City Council. Sarah, can I have a roll call?
Councilmember Brown?
Here.
Councilmember Krupa? Here. Councilmember Rice? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Meyer?
Here.
Mayor Person Cole?
Here. First up, communications from the public. Is there anybody that wishes to address the council on anything not on the agenda?
Yes, Sue Savage.
Good afternoon.
There's a green button on the mic, the base of the mic. If it's not green, lit up, push the button.
It's green. Are you better? No.
We're good.
Thank you very much. All right. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and esteemed City Council. My name is Sue Savage, and I am passionate about Hemet. Congressman Duncan Hunter was indicted today for misuse of funds. He was indicted by California grand jury first and then the federal grand jury second. As indicated multiple times, it is my intention to keep each Hemet's taxpayers' money safe within the confines of the laws of the state of California. Questions regarding monthly reporting of taxpayer dollars has been asked multiple times. Does the non-report of the July investment show clear disregard for the law by Hemet City Treasurer and by City Council for non-compliance? Questions regarding the prudent man principle for best interest earned has been asked multiple times. Yet, the CD at the Bank of Hemet for the city's treasurer's June report shows a subpar interest rate. Does this show a continued disregard for the law by Hemet City Treasurer and by City Council for non-compliance? Questions regarding the safety of taxpayer dollars has been asked multiple times. Yet, uninsured dollars remain uninsured and unrated banks continue to hold Hemet's dollars. Does this show a disregard for the law by Hemet City Treasurer and City Council for non-compliance? Numerous letters and documents substantiating these claims have been sent to every California county and state official. Riverside District Attorney Mike Hestron has not gotten back yet. An effort to follow up with him will be made tomorrow. California Attorney General Xavier Becerra has responded. He does not do these kinds of cases. He referred me to, yes, the grand jury. I will be reaching out to both Riverside Grand Jury and California Grand Jury tomorrow. Any updates with regards to dismissals of city managers or taxpayer dollars will be included in the updated documentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? Okay. Up next is a closed session item. There's actually 3 items on closed session. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to address the council on these closed session items?
Yes, I have Pat Savage, and he'll be followed by Dennis Fletcher.
Mayor, while the speakers make their way to the podium, I just want to point out a typo on item 1. The code section referenced is 54957.7. It actually is 0.6. Unfortunate fingers hit a 7 in my email to the clerk instead of a 6. Thank you.
Hi there.
Good afternoon. My name is Pat Savage, and I am a resident of Hemet. 3 years ago, Hemet was named by the state of California state auditor as a city with a high-risk classification. The city of San Bernardino had already declared bankruptcy. Hemet still remains on that audit list. In this audit, one of the major critiques of Hemet was its continual churn in staff for management of the city. A primary finger was pointed at the position of city manager. 11 changes in 12 years. Talk about a revolving door. Now we have an experienced city manager who has been in this managing position before in digging San Bernardino out of its hole. In the past 2 months, my wife and I have spoken to 3 of the 5 council members directly in reference to Mr. Parker. And in those conversations, no dissatisfaction regarding the city manager was heard. In fact, it was praised for Ellen Parker. So my question is, what changed? Is there a new concern? Does the council not like the fact that we began the year with a balanced budget? Is there an old or new voice of which I am unaware, of which I'm not aware, who is bending the ears of the council? Why are we even considering this question? At the time of the budget vote, Mr. Parker and the financial staff received high praise from all city council members for their hard work on balancing the budget. Mr. Parker has been creative in searching out ways to dig Hemet out of the structural deficit hole, another complaint of the state audit. If replacement once again is being contemplated, this move conveys a very negative message to the citizens of Hemet and the state auditors. Why is this move even being considered? It conveys the message, we don't have a structural deficit problem, we have a structural city council problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other speakers?
Yes, Dennis Fletcher. And he'll be followed by Marianne Darrow.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. This is my second appearance before you. Last time I introduced myself as a good news reporter from the Valley Chronicle, and I still am that same guy. I've spent a lot of time crawling around this valley, talking to people all the way from the senior center up in San Jacinto down to the Simpson Center Health Fair yesterday. I went to 4 events yesterday that I covered for the paper. And so I talked to a lot of people. One of their major concerns is balancing the budget. Now, they seem to be pretty happy up in San Jacinto about that, but that's still a concern of theirs. And I just want you to know that it's a major concern that I run into down here. Even when I'm talking to them about the homeless problem, they're talking to me about the balanced budget problem. So that seems to be maybe their number one concern. My understanding is that Mr. Parker has managed to move us in that direction, and he has a good track record. I don't have any problems with you reviewing anybody's performance at any time. It's probably a good idea. Keep everybody on their toes. I'm simply here to report to you my own personal experience as someone who's digging the news and talking to everybody all the time. I've met some people who've never heard of him. I haven't met anybody who doesn't like him. I've met quite a few people who supported him, and I just wanted to pass on that personal experience.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mary Ann, and I do live in the city of Hemet. From an article that I found based out of 2015, the Hemet City Council members needed to finally get it right when they selected the town's 7th city manager since the spring of 2012. So if we're still going all the way back to 2012 and we're on number 7, what I did was I did look it up, and we've had 11 city managers in up until now, 18. So it's a revolving door, and there is a quote that says that we have been a ship without a rudder. We have not had any strong, endearing leadership since Steve Temple left. So that gentleman went on, and he was San Jacinto's, even killed Tim Holtz, who was hired as a planner in 1991, promoted from assistant city manager to city manager in 2010, and still holds that position. So my question is that if San Jacinto can have a city manager and they're still sitting there as of 2000, I have to go from 2010 to 2015, and that's a 5-year. I don't know why we keep moving our city managers around. They can't do their job in 9 months and then expect for everything to work out. Mr. Parker didn't create this problem. This problem was here when he got here, and he tried to correct it the best that he could. He gave the city council 3 options of what you could choose as far as a budget. You had the option to choose any one of those. You all voted on it, and then now you're coming back and you want to get rid of him or reevaluate what he's doing and said, well, you know, he hasn't been here that long. What have you done? I think he's done quite a good job. I wasn't a big fan of him in the beginning, I have to admit. I looked at his background. I didn't think he was qualified. I wasn't a big fan. But having to come into a city and do a budget that hasn't been done in 5 years, that's a big task. And I think he did as well as he could with what he had. So I'm not against having to reevaluate what he's done, but to then think about getting another one, come on. This is just ridiculous, and it doesn't help the citizens of Hemet because they're seeing that someone up there isn't doing their job, or they have a personal reason for always wanting to get rid of someone. So the last thing I would like to say is that when Mr. Parker was brought on, and this was said on September 7th, 2017, I think Mr. Parker is exactly what this city needs at this time. I think his leadership skills, his consensus building, and his strength are exactly what this city needs.
Thank you. Are there any more speakers?
There is. I have just one more. Tammy Radonsky.
Tammy?
Good afternoon. I would just like to say that I also am concerned about the number of city council, of the city managers that we've gone through the years. And to me, it's not a matter of that we fired the city managers as much as we're burning through them. I don't know if it's a matter of looking for someone to be a scapegoat, to finger point, to play the blame game. But I think we need to stop doing this, and I'm hoping that this is the year that we do, because we do need the stability as a city to have the leadership of someone who's been through some awful times before and to pull us out of the dilemma that we're facing right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. If anything, I think that he should be giving a pat on the back and not a kick in the rear. So I'm hoping it's a pat on the back. But my concern as a citizen as well in helping to balance the budget is that with every city manager that leaves the city, there's a severance package. And then there's an interim city manager, and then here we go again with hiring someone and enticements and then bonuses. And I would just like to see the stability in Hemet remain and that we work through these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? All right. Seeing that there's no more speakers on this topic, we are going to adjourn to closed session.